Queer is the brand new film that is currently in theaters now. The film is directed by Luca Guadagnino and is written by Justin Kurtzakis. Hope I'm saying his name right. Probably I'm not. Guadagnino, of course, is the director of a lot of acclaimed films, including Call Me by Your Name, Bones and All, and 2018 Suspiria. But this is already his second movie of the year and also is written by this writer of the film. They both teamed up for Challengers earlier this year. This film takes place in 1950s Mexico City, and the lead of the film is Daniel Craig as William Lee, someone who's openly queer but is very lonely. He has friends, but usually just one night stands and is awaiting for someone to have a real connection with. And that's when he meets a young man named Eugene Allerton, who's played by Drew Starkey, who he believes can finally be the person who gives him his first intimate, real connection. Also in the movie is Jason Schwartzman as one of William's friends in the area who goes through advice with. The film is 2 hours and 16 minutes long and is rated R. Welcome back to a brand new review here at Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinnenberg. We're talking about queer. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring the bell to the channel. I do movie and TV show reviews every Tuesday. I do a box office breakdown show. I do movie franchise rankings and add a theater reactions. So if you're new, please subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on Queer? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you not like it? Where does it rank for you in Guadagnino's filmography? If you have not seen it, tell me, are you going to wait for this on streaming or are you waiting to see if this movie gets any award buzz if you're going to check it out? Also, please hit the thumbs up button down below, the thumbs up button, the like, that really helps support the channel and recommend my videos to more people. So I was very much excited for this movie. Luca Guadagnino is one of the strongest filmmakers we have today. Challengers is squarely in my top 10 of the year so far this year. Obviously, Call Me by Your Name is one of the best films of the last decade. But obviously, I really enjoyed Bones and All and had a little bit of some fun with Suspiria. And then Daniel Craig, who obviously is my favorite James Bond. I love James Bond. So whenever he picks roles, he doesn't make films all the time. He likes to pick and choose his new entries into his career. So the fact that this movie was getting a little bit of some awards buzz, especially from Craig, I wanted to check it out, especially in theaters. So overall, I seem to be, based on my instant reaction and seeing people how people feel, in the minority. I'm very mixed and kind of sliced down the middle on Queer, where I think some of the movie has some really good elements. Also, really, what works for me, the MVP and the star of the movie, is Luca Guadagnino's direction. This has a lot of Call Me by Your Name vibes. What I mean is, this movie clearly is shot on location, this beautiful city, and it all just feels so real and tangible because they're actually shooting on locations in these beautiful, quiet locations. Just like Call Me by Your Name was in Italy, this movie is in Mexico City, and it really gives this very much relaxing vibe to the film. And the tangibleness of the movie is super strong, and the filmmaking, and it is just a gorgeous film. Guadagnino doesn't just obviously he shoots in very luxurious locations, but while this is not the most wealthy location in Mexico City, he really brings this area to life from his filmmaking. If we're going to a restaurant or to a club or an apartment, it just all feels very cinematic. And Guadagnino is such a great filmmaker, even though this is probably honestly my least favorite of his films. He still brings it from a behind the scenes perspective. Daniel Craig is very strong in this movie. And the reason why he is strong is obviously the script could tell you this, but he really delivers this, which is William Lee, the character he plays, is a very broken character. From the first scene you see him, and you're trying to see him grow throughout the entire film. And yes, the script kind of lets you know that this person is broken, but it really is like 80, 70% performance driven of understanding why this person is broken. The way he acts feels like someone who is kind of desperate for this connection. Craig is such a strong actor. He has to give a lot of monologues where he's just running through things in a long talking scene. And the movie is all talk for the most part. And Craig has to deliver multiple long monologues. And he's very strong, captivating in the lead performance. Drew Starkey, an actor who I've never seen, at least in a major way before, was also very strong in the movie. On the page, not a super strong character, but he kind of brings kind of the relatability of being thrust into this situation and trying to figure out where he stands in his life. Starkey's also very good. Jason Schwartzman also very well cast in this kind of friend role for Daniel Craig. He's also very good in the movie. The score is exquisite. Once again, Guadagnino teams with Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, like he did for Challengers earlier this year. And the score is very quiet, but definitely has its impact throughout the entire film. As I said, the locations, the performances, the filmmaking that's on display is top tier. But I just feel very mixed on the story. Now, can I understand why people can have such gravity and feel like this is one of their favorite movies and it's made for them? I totally get it. And I don't think, again, you have to be, this is a stupid statement to make. You don't have to be queer to like this movie or not. Or for this to mean something to you. Because the movie isn't just about being queer, but just finding your place in the world and finding people who you love in a meaningful way. If that's heterosexual or gay, like it is in this case. I think the movie does a good job doing that. But for me, the tonal shift of the first two acts where we're in Mexico City, the movie takes a pretty sharp turn in direction, story, for the movie is based off a novel and and the movie has three chapters and an epilogue in the movie. Like they go chapter one, chapter two. The first two chapters, for me, it was fine. I was enjoying the world more than the actual story. Once we cut to chapter three, it doesn't totally fit. And at times it feels like we're in a totally different movie. Luca Guadagnino goes for tons of big swings in really all of his films. But even for like a movie like Challengers that doesn't have any redeeming qualities, there is a little bit of some heart into that. And I thought he went too big. Again, this is also based off a book, but the movie goes way too big in a direction I was not totally interested in the third act. The first two acts had an interesting enough story, and I kind of thought where the movie was going to go. It doesn't go that way, which is not a problem for me. I love when movies can misdirect me and surprise me. But this surprise and the direction they go in, which I don't want to spoil because it's not really in the trailer, kind of pulled me out of any emotional through line of the movie, where I kind of did care about these two characters. And then when a huge thing happens in the third act of the movie and this whole journey they go on, I just didn't, it felt very rushed because they did this whole good job of setting things up and we can go completely off the rails, in my opinion, in the third act of the movie. And for some people, and I was actually feeling this watching this, some people I think are going to feel very connected to what's going on in the third act, and that's why some people think this is one of their favorite movies of the year. But I seem to be the minority. Fully yourself. I did not vibe with what the movie was going for in the third act. And the first two acts had a bit of energy to it. The third act, we are pondering over so much stuff, and the third act from a shift perspective is drags a lot. I thought the first two acts did have some energy to it, even though they were talking, just because we're going from club to restaurant to apartment. There's a lot of different things going on where we're kind of supplanted in one place in the third act. The movie just kind of stalls out. And I think it completely undercuts what the shift of the tone was in the first two acts of the movie. So I wanted to feel very emotionally involved and connected to these characters, but even though I was starting to in the first hour and a half of the movie, I just didn't even get close to get there in the third act. So this is a total mixed bag for me. I'm going to give Queer a 2.5 out of 5, a 49%. What are your thoughts on this movie? Let me know in the comments. Sorry, actually, I'll go 50%. 50% on Queer. Let me know your thoughts on this movie in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.